Suddenly, a wraith vine emerged in the tomb chamber. The end of its vine had 5 fingers, just like a human hand, and it was about as thick as a human arm. Carter immediately raised his knife to cut it, but the wraith vine reacted swiftly, coiling around his neck and trying to drag him back to its nest to use as nourishment for its roots. Fortunately, Lucas and Leo grabbed him in time, preventing Carter from being taken away. However, just as Leo was about to slash the wraith vine wrapped around Carter, it sensed danger and quickly retreated into a narrow, dark passage. Soon after, the wraith vine returned, bringing with it a large number of its kind. Intending to kill them all, Leo urgently suggested they enter the passage to escape the attack. To their surprise, the passage ended at a cliff, and Carter accidentally fell off the edge. Luckily, he managed to grab onto a protruding rock on the cliff face, saving himself from falling into the abyss. At that moment, Miles and Oliver happened to appear in the passage below. Just as Oliver was about to rescue Carter, the wraith vines caught up with them. Strangely, they didn't attack immediately but moved around them, as if sensing their presence. Miles quickly guessed that the wraith vines could only detect moving objects, so if they stayed still, they wouldn't be harmed. But Carter was still hanging on the cliff and couldn't hold on much longer. In a desperate attempt to make the wraith vines leave, he started spitting at them repeatedly. This slight movement immediately attracted their attention, and they dragged him into the mist. The others, seeing this, fled into the passage to avoid the other wraith vines. However, something odd occurred. The wraith vines didn't dare to enter the passage where Miles and Oliver were, as if something inside scared them. After a careful observation, Miles discovered a special type of white stone on the passage walls. These white stones could effectively harm the wraith vines, and if there were enough, they could eliminate all of them. But in another passage, there were no such white stones, and Lucas, who was running behind, was soon caught by the wraith vines and dragged into the mist outside the passage. When Lucas woke up from unconsciousness, he found himself hanging upside down above a tomb chamber. The massive chamber contained only a stone platform, and on it lay 2 figures. What puzzled Lucas was, why were 2 people lying here in a tomb chamber? Moreover, the clothes they wore were clearly not from their era. Suddenly, he noticed the dagger hanging from the man's waist. He started figuring out a way to get it to cut the wraith vine entangling his leg, but as he broke free, he landed directly on the stone platform below. Just as he tried to get off the platform, the woman lying on it suddenly wrapped her arm around his neck. Her strength was immense, and no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free. Then, he noticed something strange. The woman had a key in her mouth. Before he could figure out its purpose, he actually detected breathing sounds from her. Her breathing was remarkably regular, taking a breath only once every 10 minutes. At that moment, Carter, who was also hanging above, woke up. Lucas threw the dagger to him so he could cut himself down. However, as Carter fell, he accidentally knocked off the mask worn by the man on the platform. It was then that Lucas saw the man's face clearly. It was bizarre, resembling that of a fox. Carter urgently warned him not to look. This man wasn't an ordinary human but a male of the extinct foxfolk. If a normal person saw a foxfolk's face, they would fall into a hallucination and die within it. But Carter's warning came too late. Lucas had already seen it. Suddenly, Carter appeared beside him in the vision, urging him to take the key from the woman's mouth, claiming it was the only way she'd let go. Trusting Carter completely, Lucas prepared to do it. But just as his fingers were about to touch the key, Miles's voice suddenly rang out, warning him not to touch it directly with his hand. There were bloodstains on his hands, and if the blood touched the woman's lips, it would wake her. A foxfolk woman was even more dangerous than the male. Miles then instructed Lucas on the correct method, to press firmly on the woman's throat and then tap the back of her head, safely dislodging the key. The moment the key was removed, the woman released her arm. Yet, eerily, Lucas could only hear Miles's voice but couldn't see him. Miles spoke again, reminding Lucas he was trapped in a hallucination. The Carter beside him wasn't real. The real Carter was with their group. This version was just a guide within the illusion, leading him toward his death. But just as Lucas tried to break free, the fingers of the foxfolk man on the stone platform twitched.